రైట్ చేసుకుంటారు అని చెప్పాలి.
అంటే నీ దగ్గర ఏసెస్ లోగో ఉందా?
నా దగ్గర ఏసెస్ లోగో లేదన్న.
మేబీ నీ యాప్ నుంచి ఎప్పుడైనా అప్లోడ్ చేసి ఉంటుంది.
ఓకే ఓకే
వద్దులే పెట్టు.
రైట్ చేసుకుంటారు అని చెప్పాలి.
ఇది కూడా వినపడుతుంది. ఓకే, ఇట్స్ వర్కింగ్. లెట్స్ గో. నేను ఇక్కడ నుంచి ఇగో మైక్రోఫోన్ కూడా ట్రాన్స్మిటర్ ఉంటాడు, అది తెచ్చుకున్నాం వైర్లెస్. ఇక్కడ పెట్టి ఆడ కూర్చొని మాట్లాడచ్చు కదా.
అట్లా వస్తుందంటే ఓకే, వెళ్ళండి గుడ్.
వస్తుంది, అది కొనుక్కుందాం. ఇది ఇక్కడ కూర్చుని ఇంకా నేను ఇట్లా కూర్చుంటా అండి. ఇక్కడ
చైర్లు తెచ్చుకుని ఉంటే అయిపోయేది.
చైర్ లేకుండా ఇంకేమున్నా
ఏమున్నాయి?
ఉండే బాగుంటుంది.
ఏముంది?
ఐస్ చెస్ట్ ఉన్నా
ఐస్ చెస్ట్ ఉన్నా పర్లేదు, కిట్టులు ఉన్నా పర్లేదు, కిట్టు మీద కూర్చోవచ్చు. వీళ్ళని అడుగుదామా, విశాల్ వాళ్ళని, ఎవరి దగ్గర ఉందేమో చైర్స్.
ఆ బెంచ్ ఉంది, బ్లీచర్. బ్లీచర్ ఇక్కడ పెడితే బాగుంటుంది కదా.
అంటే అక్కడ డగౌట్ దగ్గర కాబట్టి అక్కడ పెట్టారనుకో. నేను ఏదో మారుద్దాం అనుకున్నా, మర్చిపోయాను, డిస్టర్బ్ చేశాను. ఏపీసీఎల్
ఓవర్లేగా
లైవ్ స్ట్రీమింగ్లో ఏపీసీఎల్కి వెళ్ళి స్ట్రీమ్స్లో ఇక్కడ క్లిక్ చేస్తే ఓవర్లేస్ అని వస్తుంది. ఓకే, సో T1 squad. Good morning guys. Today we have beautiful game between AustinAces and Ironmen. So we have the AustinAces playing 11. So they have Naveen, Fahad, Yash, Rudy, Sagar, Dhruv. Arun is back from vacation, so he's playing. Rakesh, Prashant, Anjan, and then they are having Malik Aftab, the young leg spinner who reflects like Rashid Khan. That's the playing 11 of Aces, and they're playing against Ironmen. Ironmen is a good team, so they have Bali, Vishal, Manoj, Manish, Sherwin, Tilana, Dishan, Sagar Chandra, Manthan, Vijay Natrajan, and Jay Dasari. That would be a good team and it would be a good game. So weather conditions are really nice. So Arun, who won the toss? Ironman won the toss and elected to bowl. I see Fahad and Naveen coming as openers. They would like to utilize the power play. So Fahad is a good hitter, so you can easily utilize the two fielders outside the 30 yards. And for Naveen, it really doesn't matter. Any ball that comes on the leg side, he's gonna whack it up on the shorter side of the boundary. Tilana starting the first ball. He bowls outside off stump, and they don't have a slip fielder. It takes an outside edge for easy 2 runs. And this is a interesting strategy by the captain of Ironman. I have never seen Tilana bowling the first over for Ironman, so they would like to get the big hitters as early as possible. Otherwise, for such a small ground, aces can easily score beyond 200 runs, which would be difficult for Ironman. But the interesting fact is the same teams played last season semi-finals, and Ironman surprised aces, chasing a very good total on the same ground. Tilana is keeping a tight line. That's good to see for Naveen. He's not letting Naveen to free his arms. That's a double-minded shot from Naveen. So he intended to come out and hit the bowler, but Tilana bowled it a little bit slower and more fuller, so he didn't get a chance to pull the ball. And there is a deep protection for Tilana. Dishant, who is a really good outside fielder. That's a beautiful line. Good running between the wickets. That's a very good over so far from Tilina. 3 runs given so far from 5 balls. If you can give a dot ball on the last ball of the over or a single, that would be a good start for Ironman, considering the opening pair that Aces has sent. Tilina to Fahad. Wow, that's a good over from Tilina. Fahad defended the first ball that he faced. So I can see the intentions from Fahad and Naveen. They would like to utilize the power play and play long. So today Aces is not having their captain. He's on a vacation, Shashank. So today's team is led by Yash. So I got a rumor from Aces dugout that they all requested Shashank not to go on vacation, but he said that's more priority than his game. And that's the ball that I was talking about, which you should never bowl to Naveen. He can easily play that shot even in his sleep. That's a very bad start from Vijay, I would say. It's a beautiful weather over here. I hope the weather stays the same way. So we have a second game on this particular ground where Dark Knights will play. Oh, that's too wide for Naveen. He just played over the point for four. That's a beautiful shot. These balls are too easy for Naveen. You have to really bowl a tight length for that kind of a batsman. If they keep bowling this particular line to Naveen, he can easily score 100 in next 30 balls. Yep, captain has to change and talk to the bowler and give some instructions on where exactly he has to bowl. I see one mid wicket and cow corner, so they still went with the same field what they have taken it for Tilina, but I haven't seen a single ball from Vijay bowling that particular line. So there is a chance the ball is in the air, but unfortunately Vishal could not reach the position, and it's a good single. It's a double. That's a good run in between the wickets. There is a high wind over this on this ground. Now Vishal is thinking to change the field, so he's bringing in Dishan from mid wicket in, and he's sending the covers back into deep position, because I can see Vijay bowling more offside balls than the line that Vishal initially thought. That's a beautiful line and a beautiful shot just for single. That's a good move by Vishal, considering the line that Vijay is bowling. And Tilina stopped the ball in a beautiful way. Nice fielding from Tilina. That's a half chance. Unfortunately, Tilina could not reach. This is something which Fahad needs to change. He needs to play a couple of more balls, understand the bowler, understand the wind conditions on this particular ground, and then accelerate. So that way he would be able to clear this ground so easily. For Fahad, it doesn't matter whether we have two fielders outside or five fielders outside. He can easily clear these 50-40 yard boundaries in Hato ground. That's a cheeky single from Naveen. Naveen is playing good. He's able to connect all the balls right from the meat of the bat. That's the end of the over from Vijay. 13 runs came out of it. So it's aces, 2 over 16 runs with no wickets. There is a change in bowling. Manish comes into picture. Manish is a veteran bowler. He has a lot of experience when it comes to cricket. And I understand why Vishal brought in Manish to bowl the third over. They are desperately looking to break this partnership because they know how danger Naveen and Fahad can be if they survive this power play. Manish to bowl to Fahad. Sorry, Naveen. That's a good start by Manish. So Manish is more of a zippy bowler, and he also uses the wind conditions which are in his favor to bring the ball back in to the batsman. If he can do it on a good length ball, that would be tricky for Naveen. That's the ball I was talking about. Unfortunately, they don't have a slip fielder. The ball is racing out to the boundary, and it's a four. That's a good shot considering the field settings that Vishal has kept. I see a late comer to the game. That's Sherwin. So he can only go into the field after the over. That's the same ball, same line. Navin is able to still place the ball towards gully region and easy two. Yep, that's a good field position change by Vishal. So now he's covering that position with Tilina. And Manish can keep bowling that line for Naveen because he cannot give any width to Naveen because he's gonna smack that over square leg for 4 or 6. That's an inside edge. That's a good ball by Manish. Bali did the chasing. And 2 runs on the scorecard. 8 runs from 4 balls. It's a pretty decent over, but I would say Manish is not having the advantage of the field settings. That's a good shot from Naveen. Not connected well. Over the mid-on fielder for single. And this is the thing that which I was referring to. They need to really middle it well if they bowl on good length because the wind is in more favor to the bowlers. So all the shots that right-hander will play over here will be against the wind. Manish to Fahad. That's a drop catch. Manish is so frustrated because he knows the importance of that particular wicket. It's a well set field by Vishal and easy lolly catch that Tilina has dropped in a third slip position, I would say. The interesting fact is Fahad, Manish, they all used to play tape ball together in the past. So he understands the value of that particular wicket. So now Ironman needs to get another 10 more wickets considering this drop chance. And let's see if Fahad will be able to utilize his chance that he got from Tilina. That's a very good over from Manish. 1 over 10 runs. The overall score from Aces is 3 overs, 26 runs for no loss. Vijay back in action. That's a good start. I see Fahad is playing too sensible. It might be for two factors. One, is taking his time to settle in because of the drop chance. Two, the wind is against him, and Vijay is really bowling those tight lengths. What a beautiful ball right through the gap between bat and pad. That's a beautiful ball by Vijay. So Fahad could not capitalize the chance that he got in the previous over. I see the captain coming in. Yash is a very classic batsman and a very good player, I would say. So today Shashank is not there, so Ash is taking his role to play that key role in the first down position. And as I said, Shashank gave more priority for vacation than playing this game. That's the ball I was referring from Manish, where it pitches on a good length and comes in. And Rakesh has never played Manish, so he underestimated the ball or the bowling because the previous ball was more of a straighter one, and this ball came in. And Aces loses their third wicket in quick sessions. They really need to build a good partnership over here. The wind conditions are really heavy. The shot that Yash played in the last over, which everyone thought it might go for four, could not really travel fast because of the wind, and they only secured 2 runs to their team. So they really need a good partnership over here. I see Rudy coming into the picture. So Yash and Rudy need to build a really good partnership. They need to play without any wicket for next 5 overs and score 30 to 40 runs, and then accelerate the game in the last 10 overs. Aces still have a good batting lineup, but they really need to focus and take the game over by over. Today we don't see Abhijit on the ground. He's not part of the playing 11. Seems like he's also on vacation, like Shashank. That's a beautiful shot over the covers for four. That's a good shot by Ash and a bad start by Manthan. He doesn't have protection in the deep. He has one fielder over the point, and that's the thing which Sherwin is recommending Vishal to move Tilina from deep point to deep covers. I need to appreciate the catch that Sagar took of Naveen's wicket. It was really windy conditions. The ball was swinging so much in the air, and he really took a beautiful catch in cow corner. That's the line Manthan needs to keep bowling. If he needs to hit that channel, yes, he's not a cross bad player, so he can play straight. So he needs to pull Sherwin out to long on and bring Sagar in from cow corner if he's gonna keep that channel. What a beautiful shot by Ash over mid outfielder for a six. As I said, these are all like 40 45 yard boundaries, and it's a beautiful shot for a six. Yash needs to keep playing, but at the same time, he needs to consider the wickets that are falling. So Rudy needs to think well, keep playing slow, rotate the strike, keep Yash on strike, and Yash do the talking with the bat. They cannot lose one more wicket in next 4 overs, so that will keep them at a good score. So they are 38 for 3 so far, going with 8 runs per over, which is not bad with the given conditions, I would say. But they need to still build a partnership over here. Last time these two teams met on the same ground, 200 was not sufficient. That's very good running between the wickets by Yash and Rudy, and a nice slower from Manthan. Then to Rudy. That's a good Yorker length ball, I would say. Fahad is standing as a leg umpire, and I can see his face all the way from here, thinking too much about what went wrong. That's a good swing and a miss from Rudy. 11 runs of that over from Manthan. 45 for 3, 6 overs. End of power play. Change in the commentary box. We'll have the same person with a different language. New bowler in. So they're still taking 4 fielders out with Ash on the crease. And a new bowler named Jay. Handing over the commentary to Telugu. ఓకే, తను వేస్తున్న పొజిషన్ బట్టి తను లెగ్ స్పిన్నర్ అని తెలుస్తుంది, కానీ ఫ్లైట్ ఇవ్వడం లేదు జే అనే అతను. యా, ఇలాంటి ఫ్లైట్ ఇవ్వగలిగితే ఈ గ్రౌండ్లో విండ్ కండిషన్స్కి చాలా ఫేవర్గా ఉంటుంది తనకి. వాళ్ళకి ఇప్పటికీ లాంగ్ ఆన్ ఫీల్డర్ లేడు. లాంగ్ ఆఫ్ డీప్ కవర్స్, కౌ కార్నర్, మిడ్ వికెట్ ఫీల్డర్స్నే తీసుకున్నాడు. రూడీ కాస్త బెండ్ అయి ఆడితే బాగుంటుంది, కొంచెం నిలబడి ఆడుతున్నాడు. లెగ్ స్పిన్నర్ కాబట్టి స్ట్రెచ్ చేసి ఆడితే బాగుంటుంది. దట్స్ ఇదే చెప్పినాను ఇందాక. సో వాళ్ళు ఇంకో వికెట్ పడకూడదు అని చెప్పి, బట్ రూడీ అలా ఆలోచించలేదు. రూడీ గాల్లో ఆడాడు. మంతన్ మంచి క్యాచ్ పట్టాడు మిడ్ ఆఫ్ సారీ లాంగ్ ఆఫ్ ఫీల్డ్లో. ఎప్పుడు కూడా స్పిన్నర్స్ని ఈజీగా తీసుకోకూడదు, సో ఎస్పెషలీ వికెట్స్ పడుతున్న టైంలో. నవీన్ లోపలికి వచ్చి కెప్టెన్కి ఏదో ఇన్స్ట్రక్షన్స్ ఇస్తున్నాడు. మేబీ ఇదే చెప్తుండొచ్చు, మెల్లిగా అన్నా పర్లేదు వికెట్ పడకూడదని. ధ్రువ్ బ్యాటింగ్కి వచ్చాడు. ధ్రువ్ బ్యాటింగ్ స్టైల్ కూడా ఆల్మోస్ట్ రూడీ లాగే ఉంటుంది, సింగిల్ డబుల్ సింగిల్ డబుల్. ధ్రువ్ ఒక మంచి ఆల్రౌండర్, మంచి చైన్ స్మోకర్ కూడా. ఆ పర్సనాలిటీకి అన్ని సిగరెట్ ఎలా తాగుతాడో వాడికే తెలియాలి. ఓకే. జనాలు కామెంటరీని ఇంగ్లీష్‌లోకి మార్చాలి అని అడుగుతున్నారు. సో, వీఆర్ స్విచ్చింగ్ బ్యాక్ టు ఇంగ్లీష్. దట్స్ ఎ గుడ్ బాల్ బై Jay. So, as we were discussing about the chain smokers, okay, Dhruv is one person who is a good smoker. And to that list, we can also add Bhavesh, who plays for Dark Knights. Okay, he's also a good chain smoker and a person who never listens to the captain. So, we recently saw his game in HPL where Hardik and Niket were telling to bowl him on the offside, and he bowls a short ball and become expensive bowler for the game. That's a chance for Ironman. It's a good fielding by Sherwin, but unfortunately did not hit the stumps. It's too risky. Yash has given up, but unfortunately the throw was not onto the stumps. But they need to take these chances, rotate the strike, keep milking it up, singles and doubles for the next 3 overs before the break. And as expected, Sitilina is back in action. That's a good flick to square leg. Yash is pushing for two. Oh, Vijay is quick. And they need to settle for a single. I can see the tension in Ace's dugout. Anjan is also going out for to bring his kit. It's a good ball by Tilina. He needs to keep Dhruv on strike to contain those runs. We have a beautiful game coming in the afternoon. Between Dark Knights and Daredevils. You'll get an opportunity to see Bhavesh in that particular game, who is coming up with a beautiful grounds in Leander, 8 grounds, and he's starting a Lone Star Premier Cricket League. I wish him a good success, and hopefully we might get an opportunity to speak with him when the second game starts. And a good single by Yash. And that's it. Du is doing the right thing, which Rudy could not do. He's rotating the strike, keep pushing those singles, milk it. If they can reach another 10 to 15 runs in the next 2 overs, I would say that's a decent score for 10 overs on this particular ground, but not to the standards of the playing 11 that Aces have. leg spinner back in action. Now they have taken 5 fielders. That's an edge, thick edge. Drew is looking out for two. That's a good running between the wickets. Whoever is the fielder, he was not quick enough. That's a short ball. Drew played over the covers. A beautiful attempt to stop the ball from Tilina and went for four. And that's the ball which I was referring to being a leg spinner. He cannot bowl that line to any batsman where he doesn't have a field to protect, especially on these 40 or 50 yard boundaries. So, coming back to the topic of Bavish, he's one of those pokey persons who doesn't stay calm. He always pokes with other team players rather than focusing on his own personality and development. And he wants the Aces coach to be changed. That's a good shot by Dhruv for single. That's a half chance and a misfield by Dishant for easy two. Dishant, being such a good fielder, is not focusing on the game and he's chatting so much with Sagar. So for this, a good over. That's a beautiful shot by Ash for a 6 over mid wicket. That's the kind of player he is. He can take the game slowly and accelerate. And all Dhruv needs to do is keep supporting Yash by rotating the strike and punish the bad balls. So Ironman is turning or bringing up all the spinners into the game. Now Vishal back in action. That's a good shot. The same mistake by Dhruv and a good catch by Manthan again in long off. Two similar shots, two similar wickets. Aces is not learning from their mistakes. And now Dhruv did the same mistake as Rudy. It's a beautiful catch by Manthan and a good thinking by Vishal. One thing which Aces is missing is they're not able to understand the wind conditions on this ground. Today the wind is really high on this ground and it's completely against to the right hand batters. They really need to think their strategy when playing against the wind. And none of the batsmen have that sense. Rudy, Dhruv, everyone did the same mistake. and they're back in the dugout to support rest of the 9 overs, 10 overs that's left in the game. So Arun is in. So Arun is a nice lefty batsman. Let's see if Arun has the same senses that we are talking about to give that stance to Ash, build that partnership, keep rotating the strike at the same time, and keep ticking that score. It's a good delivery by Vishal. He made the batsman play the shot, so he's bowling all the balls to the batsman to make them play, considering the wind conditions we have on this ground today. It's in the air. Oh, it's a risky single. Unfortunately, oh, it's a misfield. There was a catch chance in the point, but Dishan could not reach on time. I feel he's standing too deep on the point. I think he's not even within the 30 yards. I think he's standing somewhere between 40 yards from the stems. There is a change in field, so we shall send Sherwin to long off and Manish to mid wicket. That's the end of a nice over. He considered only 3 runs by taking the wicket of Dhruv. That's a break, 10 over, 70 runs, 5 wickets. I would say it's an Ironman session for the first 10 overs. Manthan is asking whether he has taken a good catch or not. He has really taken those two beautiful catches under these windy conditions. Aces is having a deep discussion with every player inside to explain how to play when they could not play, and they're instructing the person who is playing well. That's the fun part in cricket. go to Austin Aces TV? Austin Aces TV. Who is it? Shoaib? Okay. Shoaib.
सुबह बोल रहा हूँ.
नहीं वो नहीं है. वो नहीं है. तो आप YouTube में ऑस्टिन एसिस टीवी डाल दो. ओके. हाँ. ओके आपको क्योंकि अरुण ने वो टीवी चैनल क्रिएट किया था उधर स्ट्रीम हो रहा है. हाँ आपको मिल जाएगा आयरन मैन और इसका. हे बाबा. हाँ हाँ ठीक है. चलो ओके. हाँ हाँ बाय. So when these two teams played in the last season semi-final, it was a really good game. Austin Aces scored two. But a lot of people will not agree on that game when we appreciate Bavish because there were only two good shots that he played. One on the point, one flick over the square leg for six. But rest of the shots that he played were all dot balls or edges. Ironman is taking so much time as he Bolly went out for a quick smoke. For his age and gauge, he should not be a smoker. And this is not the same team that they played in semi-finals. There are a few changes from the last time that these two teams met. They don't have Bavesh, they don't have Abi, and they don't have Abhijit as well today in the game. They have to see what kind of total that Aces can challenge Ironman on this particular day, and will Ironman be able to overcome that particular target. So they need another easily 100 runs in next 10 overs. That's a beautiful shot by Arun for 4 over the point. And Tilina cannot bowl that kind of line and length for a lefty. They have sent Dishant back to deep position. Same shot for a single. That's a good pull shot, but they have a fielder in the deep for a single. Hardik Patel from Dark Knights is posting a question in the group that the commentator always plays with aces, supports aces, practicing aces, commentary for aces, shows on ground every aces game, but he plays in Dark Knights. Is that a question or is that an indication for Subhash to move out of Dark Knights? Tilina is bowling a tight line and length. That's the kind of running they need between the wickets. A quick single from Arun. Vishal back in action. That's a late flick from Arun for a single. It's a good shot by Arun over the point. They had Dishant in the deep now. He misfielded, but unfortunately, the Aces could not take a second run. Dishant is fielding in the same position he did in semi-finals. He would have given easily 20 runs on misfields for Aces team. Everyone got a doubt whether he's playing for Aces or Ironman in the last semi-finals. That's a good lofted shot in the air for a beautiful catch by Sagar in cow corner. Yash is out. వాళ్ళ ఓన్ యూట్యూబ్ ఛానల్ దాంట్లో పెట్టుకున్నారు. 2 lefties on the ground. Sagar is in place of Yash. Sagar is in a good form. He played HPCL really well, and there are some good knocks recently from him in Houston as well. Good over so far by Vishal. 3 dots. That's a good sweep. They're looking out for two. Good running between the wickets by Sagar and Arun. And the 14 over is this is 95 for 6. They have last 6 overs. Even if they score 10 runs per over from here, that will still not make them reach 150. And on such a small ground, 150 is nothing unless Ironman mess up that particular batting lineup with no Bhavesh, with no Abhijit, with no Abhi Patel, and everyone. And they don't even have Rehan in the playing 11. And I believe Rehan is not playing this season with Ironman. Manthan back in action. Sagar is doing the right job by rotating the strike. He wants to take the game till the last over. It's a good shot by Arun, but it landed in no man's land just because of the wind. Otherwise, that ball would have traveled for four. Manthan is doing the right thing by bowling variations. That's a line that he needs to keep bowling to a lefty with the kind of feel that he has on offside. Let the batsman take the risk. But you keep hitting the same channel for the remaining 3 balls that's left in the over. That would be a good over from Manthan, I would say. Oh, that's a poor wicket keeping by Bali. So he's taking off the pressure from the batsman. That's a good ball by Manthan. These where Ironman needs to come up tight in terms of their fielding standards to keep that pressure on aces and restrict them under 150 given the wind conditions that they have on the ground. It would be a challenging wicket even for Ironman as well, but it eventually comes back to that particular point how good aces can bowl in these windy conditions. Sagar charged down the wicket to Manthan for no run. They are good friends outside the game, but in today's game. They're playing in two different teams. That's a beautiful line and length by Manthan. Three dot balls, or I would say three balls in the same line and length area, which gave only one run out of those three balls. That's a beautiful over from Manthan. He considered only three runs with one by, I would say, AustinAces score is 99 for 6 in 15 overs. So they have the last 5 overs. Now we have to see whether Arun and Sagar will accelerate the game from 16th over, or they would like to take this from the last 3 overs and continue to do what they're doing for last 1 2 overs. That's a match summary. He has scored beautiful 31 runs from 22 balls. Naveen also scored quick 24 from 16, with Vijay being the leading wicket taker with 2 overs 17 runs. That's a reverse sweep by Sagar for 4. It's a premeditated shot, I would say, because all the spinners are bowling a very tight line and length outside the off stump. And considering the wind conditions for the kind of bowling that Ironman is bowling, I would say that's a best shot to play. All he needs to do is just connect some meat of the bat with the heavy conditions of the wind, and that ball can travel easily to the boundary. It's a misfield by Vijay or mid off for single. Vishal is still happy with it. They still haven't taken a long off fielder. Considering the wind conditions, they have all the fielders on mid wicket and square of the wickets. And Arun is trying to imitate the same thing which Sagar did, and he was not successful to play. He was not in the right position to play that shot. They got a leg by. That's a good shot. Sagar is putting up the pressure. That's a risky run, I would say, if it's a good throw. Oh, the throw is a little bit wider, I would say, for Vishal. Manish is disappointed. He felt that it's out. Umpire did not give an out. Unfortunately, we don't have a third umpire review over here. We have to stick with whatever umpire feels is good on the ground. Sagar is doing the right thing, putting the pressures on the fielder. He's testing Dishant, whether he can feel the ball. On this occasion, Dishant is successful. He did not misfield the ball, and he gave only a single. End of the over. After 16 overs, Aces is 109 for 6. They have last 4 overs. Even 10 runs per over will take them to 49 runs. If Mandan can bowl the way he bowled the last over, then 149 would be really difficult for the kind of bowling that they're doing. I need to appreciate Ironman for the kind of discipline that bowling that they're doing. considering the conditions they have on the ground today. So their spinners gave a nice flight, kept the field in the right positions, took all the catches. The only catch drop that they had in the initial over when Manish bowled, where Tilina dropped a catch from Fahad, but Fahad could not capitalize that opportunity. And from there, they took every catch that came in their way. That's a beautiful cheeky shot from Sagar. He always keep trying that from time to time. There is no such single game where he haven't played that particular shot. He even tried that for the fastest bowler to the slowest bowler in the game. He likes that, and Ironman is still not realizing that Sagar is really good in that particular area, and they don't have a fielder over there. And that's where Vishal is thinking now. Do he needs to keep a deep fielder over there? So he's bringing in the deep square leg back in circle. Let's see if Mandan can bowl that line. If Sagar wants to shuffle and play this shot over the deep square leg, so he has to do something different given the wind conditions on the ground today. That's an expected shot from Sagar. That's a good bowling by Manthan. Yep, that's a good move by Manthan. He wants Sherwin from long off back in circle, and he wants to Sagar to go back to his deep square leg position, considering the shots that Sagar is playing. They need to protect the square and back finer of the wickets, I would say, as the wind is more against the batsman today. Arun is changing his bat, so I think Arun has a habit of collecting bats. He's a passionate cricketer. Let's see if change in bat will do any favors to Austin Aces. That's a good shot down the wicket. Sagar saw Sherwin inside the wicket, inside the 30 yards, and he played over mid on area for four. That's a really good shot. That's the kind of player Sagar is. He can play around with the fielders, but you need to really have a good smart bowler to contain that kind of smartness in batting. And he is the person in form in all the recent tournaments that he played, or the recent games that he played, I would say. Sagar still wants to play that scoop shot as there is a change in field. Sagar came within 30 yards from deep square leg. Manthan is really bowling his line and length well, considering the shot that Sagar is trying to play. That's a slower from Manthan. but it's not placed well, I would say. But he got 2 runs. There was no damage done on that particular ball. So Mandan has that really weird, I would say, special slow ball, which he practices regularly in the nets as well. But he has to be consistent with that ball. Finally, Sagar achieved trying to play a scoop shot just for a single, given the condition. Okay, so that's a leg by, not from the bat. That's a good over, I would say, by Manthan. So 17 overs gone. It's 120 for 6. It's last 3 overs. They need to accelerate, at least in this last 3 overs. So let's see what's the batting lineup that Aces have. So Prashant, Anjan, and Malik Aftab. So Prashant is a decent bat, I would say. Anjan can try. Anjan can rotate the strike. I have never seen Malik Aftab batting, but he's a good spinner, a young talent that Aces have recruited recently. So he plays for Tigers in CTCL team, and when there is no game in CTCL, he has committed that he'll play for Aces. So Manish back in action. So he has 2 overs left. He's gonna bowl the 18th and 20th over. If he doesn't exceed more than 10 runs in this over, I would say. That's a scoop from Sagar for 2 runs. I see the cloud of gloom over here, but these are passing clouds, so I don't see a rain until 4 o'clock. That's a full toss for a dot ball. Sagar is trying to keep maximum strike. That's a short ball. That's a good pull shot by Sagar for a 6. That's the kind of ball that Manish cannot bowl to Sagar with the kind of form he is in. So Manish is giving a gesture to Manthan, saying that I know what I'm doing. Don't give lecture to me. He wants to get Sagar on a short pitch ball with Tilina being there to catch that ball. That's another full toss for 4. Still, Manish is saying that what he's doing is the right thing. He doesn't want to take a fielder in on the leg side. They only have 2 fielders on the leg side outside 30 yards. Now, finally, Sherwin is going back. So they want the deep covers to come in. They have 3 fielders Mid wicket cow corner and long off fielders for Sagar now. Let's see what kind of ball that Manish can bowl now to Sagar. That's a drop catch by Manoj in mid of area. So Manish is unlucky once again. His team members are not really helping him to get the wickets. It's 18 overs gone. It's 133 for 6. Manthan to continue his final over. Is it a strategy between Arun and Sagar that Sagar wants to keep maximum strike, considering the kind of form he is in? So Manthan is doing the same mistake as Manish. So he have only two fielders on leg side, outside 30 yards, and everyone else is on offside. Sagar is testing Tilina. Oh, unfortunately, he couldn't go back. That's a good throw by Tilina. There's so much discussion going on between Sherwin, Vishal, and Manthan. They would like to change the field, and now they agreed to keep the field as is to both the lefties. Two fielders outside 30 yards, rest everyone on offside, and they're asking Manthan to bowl on offside. That's a good move, I would say, by Sherwin and Vishal, because that outside edge, our 4 runs would have been saved. Have been saved, I would say. I see Arun is not able to strike the ball well, and he wants to give strike to Sagar, which is the right thing to do, I would say, at this point in time. That's another inside edge for a swingle on square leg. Manthan is really bowling well. I need to really appreciate the effort that he's putting in to keep that ball outside off consistently. And he's mixing up his balls with a lot of variations as well to both the lefties. Let's see if the new bat that Arun requested does any wonders. No, that landed only to a dot ball. That's a beautiful slow ball by Manthan, which Arun couldn't pick it up. And Sagar wants to take the strike. That's a good running by Sagar. He pushed Arun to go for second run. So the throws were not accurate. I would say a little bit of sloppy fielding by Sherwin. A powerful strike by Arun just for a single. As expected, Manish is bowling the final over. I would say Manthan really bowled well for his 4 overs, 30 runs, even though he's wicketless. I would say, given to the conditions and the kind of players on the crease, he bowled really well. That's a beautiful Yorker by Manish. That's the kind of zippy bowler he is. He doesn't want to rely on the fielders that he has on the field today. So he just wants to do his solo activity. So he did bowl in Yorker and got the wicket of an hour of our own. It's 138 for 7. They have 5 balls left. With Sagar not being on the strike, the instructions to the new batsman Malik would be to give strike to Sagar, and Sagar try to play all the 4 balls and keep the strike as much as he can. I still doubt that Aces will be able to reach 150. This context to chase this score on this ground today would be interesting with the kind of bowling that Aces have and also the wind conditions that we have on the ground today. So Ironman bowling did really a tremendous job to contain Aces under 150. That's a good shot by the little fellow for a 6. Under 90, bacha hai. That's a surprise shot by Malik. Manish did not expect that from that batsman. So now 150 looks achievable. The kind of shot that Malik played. So he still have 4 overs, 4 balls. That's a single. Let's see what Sagar will do in the last 3 balls that's left in the first innings. So Manish wants 3 fielders on leg side. He doesn't want to stick with the fielding that Manthan had. That's a good shot by Sagar. Straight down the wicket. But the ball couldn't travel fast. Manthan was able to field it well for a single. 147. 2 balls left. That's a dot ball by Manish. It's a crucial dot ball. Will they be able to reach 150? They need 3 runs to score 150. That's another dot ball. That's good work by Bali for a run out. Unfortunately, Aces could not reach 150. That's really a good bowling effort from Ironman, I would say, to restrict Aces under 150. Now their batsmen needs to do their job. All they need is 7.5 runs per over, which is quite easy for a T20 game. But the downside to the game, even for Ironman, would be the wind conditions. If the wind conditions changes in favor of Ironman, it's unfortunate for Aces, I would say. The commentary backs will be back in action for the second innings. Enjoy your cup of tea, Bhavish. You can go and smoke. And then to start the over, Bali's in strike along with Sherwin. Ironman has a target of 148, which I would personally say it's a good score given the wind conditions that we have on the ground today. But it eventually comes down to the point of how good aces can keep their line and length tight. That's up in the air. That's a drop catch by the captain. Oh, we never expected that. The wind is playing the game here. Aces also started the game in the same lines like Ironman, giving a chance to their opener. So they still need to get another 10 wickets. Sherwin is a really good batsman, very strong on his pads. You really cannot bowl anything short or onto the pads. He can easily flick, and they don't have a fielder in the deep to protect that. And that's what Anjan is requesting the captain to have the person little bit squarer. Anjan to Sherwin. Oh, see, that's the kind. एड्रेस मैं आपको टेक्स्ट करता हूँ. I believe Sherwin is trying to test his balls with the match ball. Three balls done. Sherwin is taking a break. Umpire is checking if Sherwin is good. Anjan to Sherwin. That's a beautiful ball and a good fielding by Rudy. Ironman doesn't need to do anything much. They need to keep rotating their strike, not to lose too many wickets in the power play. So that way they can keep their run rate at 5 6 for the initial 10 overs and then accelerate the game if they have wickets in the last 10 overs. You see the kind of swing that Anjan got in the last ball. Bali have no clue what he is doing, but that's how Bali always plays. wants to utilize the power play. So he's swinging at everything that it's getting in his way. Unfortunately, Bali is not successful with his swings. That's 2 runs from the first over. It's a good start by Anjan. So Aces is not going with Prashant, who is their fast bowler, or with Fahad. So Ish wants to step in. Yash is a good zippy bowler. He doesn't give enough light to the batsmen in a power play. Let's see if Sherwin can play. They don't have any protection in the deep. Let's see if Sherwin can play over the wicket. Yeah, that's a good strike from Sherwin. The ball is not going anywhere. Arun did the fielding to restrict for 2 runs. Sherwin is really a good batsman in this particular league. He has no pressure today because it's not a high scoring game. It's all about sticking to the basics and play the balls in the right directions. He doesn't need to be really aggressive. Bali can do that job. All he has to do is keep rotating the strike. So Sherwin came down the wicket. It's an inside edge for 4 runs. AustinAces have the same field even for Yash, which Anjan had. So they have one fielder in deep mid wicket and one deep square leg. I see Yash is in a rush. Oh, that's too risky of a shot. But I know why Sherwin wants to play that. They don't have any cow corner. So he wants to play on top of Drew. And Yash is doing that adjustments now for the kind of ball that he bowled. That's the end of the over. Ironman is 10 runs for in 2 overs with 0 wickets. So they need 138 more from 108 balls. That's an edge. Just pass through the fielder quickly. And Prashant doesn't have a chance to catch that ball so swiftly. That's a good ball from Anjan. These are all the same shots that Naveen played. I would say in the over that Manish bowled. I see the same field on the ground as well. Anjan to Sherwin. That's straight down the wicket for four. That's a beautiful shot by Sherwin over the top of mid off. Aces needs to keep their line and length in proper way. They cannot bowl too fuller. They cannot bowl anything onto the pads. Anything width and offside. They have to really keep their line and length very tight for the kind of score they have. I still feel that they are not able to bowl to the windy conditions that they have on the ground today. Ash is discussing the same thing with Anjan. So they want the deep square leg person to come in, and they're pushing mid off back to long off. Now for this kind of field, Anjan has to bowl a little bit straighter on off stump length, not give enough width to Sherwin to play over covers. That's a leg bias. Anjan to Bali. Bali is just doing the same thing what he's known for. Just keep swinging the bat. He already got 9 runs of the over. He doesn't need to play any of those shots. He can rotate the strike and help Sherwin and contribute to the team score. So another chance. The ball is in the air. Naveen going for the catch. That's a beautiful catch by Naveen. So Ironman down with 1 wicket. Naveen almost ran 30 yards back to take that catch. It's not easy with a heavy wind doing its part in the game. That's one down with 19 on the board. So Bali did not do much with the bat for today at least. So one lefty gone. They are bringing Sagar in. So they want to keep that left and right combination going on up the order. Sherwin is playing well. He needs to stay there if they have to win this game. He's scoring well. And then he's really a tall, calm bowler, I would say. he always uses his height as an advantage, and especially he's a really good bowler for left-handers with the ball leaving away from the batsman. They still don't have a slip fielder for the new batsman because of the short boundaries they have on this ground. Let's see how Sagar plays. Anjan to Sagar. Okay, that's a good start. That's the end of the over. 9 runs and a wicket from Anjan's second over. You can see the camera shaking over here, so it's really windy. I was expecting Vishal to come up the order, but they decided they want to go with left and right combination, so they sent Sagar in. I have never seen Sagar playing up the order in Ironman. And they also did not send Dishant in. I hope if Sherwin gets out, they might send Dishant in to use the power play. I don't see Dishant being padded up, so seems they would like to keep Dishant down the order with the kind of form he is in. Yash to Sherwin. That's a beautiful pull shot for four. It's too short, and Sherwin is really good on leg side. You cannot bowl that ball when you don't have a field. I am really surprised the field that Yash has taken. He has one deep square leg or mid wicket for Sherwin and a long off fielder. So there is no one on the covers. And the kind of ball that he's bowling really doesn't help because it's too difficult for the person in the mid wicket to come in such a short ground to cover for the position in cow corner. I think Naveen is telling the same thing to Yash what he has to do. That's a much better ball with the kind of field he has in. They're pushing it for two. Dhruv fumbled a little bit, but he did not give the second run. I didn't see where the ball went, but looks like it went for a boundary. That's a wide ball from Yash. He's bowling for some reason too wide to the lefty. He has two fielders on leg side. Not sure what Yash is thinking to give that kind of a width for a lefty who scored four already in this over. That's a misfield by Sagar in point for a single. That's the end of the over. It's 4 overs, 30 runs for a loss of 1 wicket. So they need another 118 more in 96 balls. The last 2 overs from Aces were a little bit expensive, I would say. So Ironman is trying to capitalize their power play. So they are bringing Sagar to bowl their fifth over because they know it's very crucial. They need to contain, they need to go for a kill, and they need to take the wickets at earliest. And this is where Ironman needs to keep their temperament calm, keep rotating their strike, punish the bad balls that Aces will bowl at them because it's this ground is really small and it's easy scoring ground. And if you are not really consistent with your bowling, then it's really punishable by any batsman, irrespective of which town they come in. Or if you want to kind of bowl that kind of bowling to them, then you really need to have a score beyond 200. Or you need to have Bhavesh in your team. Sagar to Sherwin. That's a beautiful shot by Sherwin over the top of mid off fielder for a four. Aces need to really think what they need to do. They're still not able to figure out the field set for Sherwin. Even if they're trying to do something different with the field, they're not able to bowl to the field. We have ex Ironman player Rehan Bhai. कैसा है? ठीक-ठाक Rehan bhai. Rehan played for both teams, Aces as well as Ironman. This season he's not playing for any team in APCL. He's recovering from an injury. Sherwin is really playing well with the field. Even Sagar is not able to contain him within power play. He already scored 3 consecutive fours, 13 runs of 4 balls. Ironman 43 for 1, cruising towards victory. They all need 6.85 runs per over. Their current run rate is around 9.5. They're really utilizing the power play well, which Aces couldn't do. And they understood the wind conditions, so that's why Sherwin is trying to play the sweep shots and square back of the square, more finer shots. Anything fuller he's able to play on top of the inside fielders. Aces as well as Sagar to Sherwin. That's the Dusra from Sagar. It went away from the batsman for a dot ball. Sagar used to be a fast bowler in the past. Bhavesh and Dishant were the people who identified the talent in Sagar as a spinner. So they encouraged him to become a spinner. And from that time, Sagar is really working well with his spin department, I would say. Aces as well as Ironman. This season he's not playing for any team in APCL. Sanjan back in action. So Ironman is 5 overs 44 for 1. Sherwin is on 35. That's a much fuller ball with no protection in the deep. Sherwin can easily get 2 runs. Sherwin is on. Vishal comes in. I hope they don't do the same mistake as Aces did. They need to keep rotating the strike. They don't need to go for big shots. They need only 6.5 runs per over from here, which is quite easy to achieve if they have something in their brains. 8 overs, 61 runs for 2 wickets. It's a beautiful spell from Anjan. 4 overs, 19 runs for 2 wickets. And he always does that, so he finishes his spell in the first 10 overs. Now they have Prashant back in action. Prashant did not play cricket for quite a long time, but he did bowl in his first game pretty decent against Avengers. He was able to swing the ball well. He told me that he's working on his fitness to come back full fledged to play the game. They're still trying to figure out the fielding or field placement. Ironman is really doing good with their run rate, so they don't need to worry about the run rate. They just need to play smart. Just keep milking it up, take those singles, take 5, 6 runs, 4, 5 runs is also good enough with the kind of score that they have on the board and pretty decent batting lineup that is due to come. So Sherwin was telling me that he was not supposed to play this game today, but someone in Ironman got injured and he has been called out in the last minute. But unfortunately, Vishal took bowling after he won the toss, so that's why he was in a rush to play those shots and he got out. Sagar is playing really well. He's not taking any risk at all. He has got clear instructions from Sherwin and Vishal. So all he's doing is just rotating the strike. He's on 12 runs from 12 balls. I personally feel Aces is running slow and over it. Unfortunately, we don't have any fines here. So for such a low scoring game, I can understand that there will be a lot of discussions, a lot of things to do in a shorter format. That's a good sign from Prashant. He did not bowl any wide till now. He's making the batsman play the ball, which is good sign for the kind of field that he has set. So they have a deep point, deep extra cover and long off because Vishal is really good on offside. The disadvantage that Ironman have with Vishal, if we need to point one, that would be running between the wickets. But he should be able to make it up with the kind of shots that he has on offside. But Aces have learned their lessons from the last semi-final, so they have fielder in deep point, and they're trying to not give that width to Vishal. And Dhruv is still not in action when it comes to bowling. So he's really a good bowler when lefties are there in the crease. Ish is thinking differently. That's a half-hearted shot from Sagar for single. It really doesn't matter at this level of cricket as far as you are able to rotate the strike and keep the score ticking. Maybe Yash heard my words. He's bringing Dhruv now to bowl. So they need 84 runs in 66 balls, which is still something, in my opinion, it's a 50-50 game. If aces can bowl well, they can restrict them not to give those runs. And if Vishal and Sagar and Ironman thinks that, like, they can keep ticking the score until 15 overs and then accelerate with no wickets, then they can easily achieve this score. So Dhruv to Sagar. That's a good sweep shot from Sagar. The first aggressive shot that we have seen in the game for four. So Sagar do have some shots to play. I thought he has been sent in to keep rotating the strike. That shot will ease the pressure off from Vishal and keep the score ticking. Arun is not focusing on the game. He's chatting with an outsider who is new to Texas. One more shot. That's a beautiful running catch from Sagar. He ran all the way from deep extra cover to deep mid wicket to take that catch. That's an unnecessary shot from Sagar. And this is the thing that all these youngsters needs to learn. When they already got a 4 from the previous ball, they need to get out of the strike, rotate it, keep scoring 9 or 10 runs per over when you really need 6 runs per over. So Ironman is still going with the strategy of right and left combinations. So Sagar is out and they have sent Tilina, who is a pretty decent bat. So he's really good with his shots on cow corner and deep square leg area. The last time I have seen playing aces, he was struggling more on offside, especially for swing ball. He was not able to play anything. But that's quite a long time which I have seen, so we need to see if he has improved his game and will he do something different with the kind of runs that they need to score. They need 7.62 runs per over and they are scoring 7.16 per over. So they just need to do what they are doing without losing wickets. That can take them win this game. That's a good start by Dhruv to Tilina. Oh, that's a surprise bounce of the pitch. Nicely played by Tilina. which is quite achievable on this ground if they're not throwing away their wickets, and it's also achievable for Austin Aces if they keep bowling their line and length properly, factoring the wind conditions. It's a good start by Prashant after the break. He's putting the pressure on the batsman. That's a sloppy fielding by Aces. Arun did not move his ass from mid off to back up the bowler. This is where Ironman needs to play smart. They need 8 runs per over. They just got 3 runs in the last over. So that will keep pushing up the run rate up, which is really difficult under these windy conditions to achieve unless they have really good sloggers down the batting line, which I personally feel they don't have. That's a good flighted delivery from Dhruv. That's what that is what he's meant for. Like he always good at these flighted balls and slow balls. Tilina played that down to long off for a single. No point in catching the heads when you don't have a slip fielder. So that's a thick outside edge for 2 runs from Vishal. That's a good slug shot, Rashid. It's a good catch by the youngster under the windy conditions. I felt he's gonna go over the ball, but unfortunately he was able to adjust himself and catch the ball. Vishal is out, and so that's the kind of pressure these dot balls will create. So now they have Dishant coming in, who's a pretty decent batsman. I have seen playing him in various positions, accelerating the game. That was an unnecessary, stupid shot from Vishal, knowing how aces threw their wickets. So he played against the wind, and then wind is in favor of aces, and it's a really good catch by the youngster, the little Rashid Khan, they call him Malik. Dhruv is proving to be a really a threat for Ironman with the kind of balls that he's bowling and the flight he's giving. I have seen those games in different leagues where Dhruv have changed the games by taking wickets at the crucial time. Yash will still be thinking who would be the next bowler that he has to give the ball, and I still don't see The youngster getting the ball. That's a really good over from Drew again. Just 4 runs from that particular over and a wicket of Vishal. So there are 12 overs, 76 for 4. They need 72 runs in 8 overs. Arun is still not focusing on the game. He's still talking with Rehan. I think Yash is able to read my mind from here. So he's bringing Malik into action. He has the exact copy action of Rashid Khan. Let's see if he can be consistent with his line and length. That's really a bad start. I it was it was a really bad ball and a really a bad shot. Dishant was not able to punish that ball. It was almost a catch to a Rudy, but Rudy could not take a start. So I would say Dishant was lucky to not to give that wicket for such a bad ball. So this is the point that I was referring to, that Malik needs to improve his bowling, especially in consistency level of pitching the ball in the right areas. Let's see how he bowls to the left-handers. The field placements are right so far, and Malik is bowling to those field positions, I would say. That's a pull shot. Rakesh under the ball. It's a beautiful catch by Rakesh on mid wicket. Tilina is gone. Same mistakes. Ironman is also repeating, which is done by aces. They are not using their brains. I hope their brains are in their knees. They need to rotate the strike, keep ticking the score. They have a good batting lineup, but they are not able to do that. So they're just following our copycat of aces batting lineup, I would say. And that's what aces wants under these conditions. So we have Hawks versus Thunders game that's happening in HCCA ground. Hawks scored 156 for 4 with Thunders chasing that score. They are 4 wickets down for 58 for 4. They need 99 runs in 11 overs. So Hawks had a pretty decent batting from Balu, Prasad, Rajshekhar and Nadeem Khan. And Shrikant really bowled well with 4 overs, 17 runs for a wicket. Got 1 wicket. In with reference to the chasing of that score, they already lost 4 wickets. Shrikant got duck out. So Sumant and Manish Patil are playing. That would be an interesting game to achieve 9 runs per over. That's a beautiful ball by Malik. Manthan have no clue what happened, and Malik got his second wicket in the over. That's clean bowled. Now I would say Ironman is in trouble. They are not able to pick Malik's bowling, and this is the kind of threat Malik can be if he can bowl in the right areas. He's gonna grow stronger day by day with the kind of practice that he's putting in and the kind of games that he's playing in. We really need these young fellows to play in these kind of games, learn a lot, go and play the next level. Manthan goes for a silver duck. So they need almost 10 runs per over. So with Manish coming in, Manish is a left-handed batsman. He's really, really good on his leg side. Not so great batsman on offside, I would say. I, so they're still having the left and right combinations consistently in Ironman. Oh, that's a drop catch. Looks like with the kind of reaction everyone gave. Prashant, that's really good over from Malik. He gave just one run and got two wickets, which is not, I would say, a favorable sign for Ironman because Dhruv is really good for left hand batsmen. Aces is taking their own sweet time. Umpire needs to push them a little bit faster to bowl because we have a second game coming in between Dark Knights and Daredevils at 1 p.m. So they need to wrap up this game in next 20 minutes at the earliest. That's a good pull shot. Unfortunately, the ball is not traveling. So good fielding by Rakesh. That's two runs for Manish with 78 for 6. Arun is still not focusing. He's still chit chatting with Rehan on the boundary because no batsman was able to hit in the direction where Arun is fielding for last 4 5 overs. It's very easy to divert Arun during the game, especially when he's fielding on the boundary. So Manish went hard on the ball. He got a thick inside edge for a single. That's a good over from Drew. Just only 3 runs in the last 4 overs. They just got only 10 runs, which is, I would say, under the circumstances, a very bad sign for Ironman. So they need 11 runs per over. So they need in 6 overs. They need around 67 runs. Malik back in action to Manish. Navin is chasing up. They'll not go. They will not take that risk to go for second, and they cannot afford one more wicket at this point in time. I don't know if you guys are able to hear the sound of this wind. It's really heavy. Dishan thought that it might go for a wide, and he missed a low full toss ball to punch it over covers. Singles will not really help at this point in time. They had to do something different. They had to think something different to get that 11 runs per over. With Manthan being in the dugout and no one else down the order who is a big hitter for Ironman, it would be difficult if you lose a wicket over here. That's a good running between wickets and a poor fielding, I would say, by Fahad. So far, it's a good over from Malik Aftab. They're enjoying their game. They're appealing for every small thing that's happening on the ground. And umpire is in no interest to enjoy that fun. That's a bad ball from Aftab. And it's good shot by Manish to convert that into a 4. End of the over. 8 runs of that over. They need 59 runs in 5 overs with almost 12 runs per over. And this is what exactly we were talking at the start of the game, that the score might sound much simpler and easier, but it's really difficult to play under these wind conditions if you really have a good bowling unit, especially the spin, which Aces have in the form of Dhruv and Malik Aftab. We need to see if they can bring Sagar in to contain more runs. Are they gonna continue with Dhruv and Aftab? Yeah, he's going with Dhruv and Dhruv itself. Ish still has 2 overs. Sagar still have 2 overs. Dhruv is into his final over. So with 5 overs left, Aftab having 2 overs, Dhruv having 1 over. So 3 overs are covered between them. And then Yash needs to decide whether he wants to come in and bowl or he wants to bring Prashant, who is really economical from his 2 overs. That's a good shot from Dishant and a really poor fielding by Arun. With a misfield, they were able to secure 2 runs. It's better that Arun focuses on fielding rather than chatting. He looks overconfident in that particular position. That's another good sweep, I would say, from Dishant. And I would say it's a missed chance and miscommunication between Malik and Arun. Said they both attempted to try to take that catch, but it landed in between them and it went out for four. And this is a kind of thing that a bowler doesn't like within a team. They need to come up together in the last 5 overs. So we can see that Dishant is accelerating the game. That's another beautiful shot over covers. Oh, unfortunately, it was straight into the hands over to the fielder in covers. Rakesh took a nice catch with Dishant gone and Vijay coming in. I would say we need to give up the hopes of a win at this point in time unless some magic happens from here. So no one was really able to no one was really able to build that partnership in Ironman's innings. Only Sherwin was able to score a decent score from 20 balls, 37 runs. Sagar Chandra, Vishal, they got good starts, but unfortunately they could not stay in the crease. And with quick wickets in a over with Tilina and Manthan going out, unfortunately Dishant has to accelerate the game and threw his wicket. So that's third wicket for Dhruv in his final over with 3 balls left. That's a cheeky shot from Vijay, but there is a fielder in the deep. We, we have to we have to see if Manish can we have to see if Manish can accelerate the game and take an advantage of being a lefty. But they have 3 fielders on the leg side, a deep square leg, deep mid wicket, and long on. That's a good fielding by Rudy. So they're not giving those runs easily. Navin is appreciating that effort. That's the kind of support that a bowler looks in from a team when you have a low scoring game. That's another shot. Good fielding by Fahad and a good backup by Esh. That's a good spell from Dhruv. I would say he's my man of the match contender for today's game. He finished his spell 4 overs, 4 19 runs with 3 wickets, and he took the wickets of Sagar, Vishal, and Dishant. Malik to continue. That's that's a really poor decision by the umpire. It was not out, but unfortunately, the decision went in favor of aces. It pitched outside the leg stump and turned really well, and it was even high in my opinion. But that's the kind of umpiring you get in these kind of games at a club level. Unfortunately, Vijay has to go out. Umpire is not in a mood to turn over his decision. So Malik gets his third wicket, and I would say we can conclude that Ironman cannot chase 148 target in 20 overs with almost like run rate being at 14 runs per over with only 2 wickets in hand. It would be really unimaginable to see those folks win the game from here. Aftab to the new batsman. I think that's Manoj. We see the next team players coming in onto the ground from Daredevils. They already have their almost half the team on the ground of Daredevils, but I don't see any players from Dark Knights here yet. Dark Knights is a kind of team who is really good in the kind of game that they play, but they are not punctual in terms of the time, especially few players like Bavish who doesn't reach the ground on time. Even that used to happen when he used to captain Hunters in CTCL. So I see all the Daredevil players coming in. So we see Prakash coming in. He's a really good player. On any given day, he can change the game. So Naveen is appealing for stumping for the kind of action you guys can see on the screen. But Bali is not interested. And even there was no appeal from other players except Naveen. Naveen is disappointed with the decision, but the rest of the team is still fine with it. That's a really sloppy fielding from Prashant. It really went under his, through his legs, I would say. Aftab is not happy with it. They were expecting a single, or he was expecting a single, but Prashant gave 4 runs in long off position. And I feel he's not in a good condition. I can see he limping down a little bit. He might have injured himself after bowling 2 overs. That's the end of Aftab's Malik's over with 7 runs of that over. Oh, Yash is thinking different. He wants to give an opportunity to other bowlers. So he wants to bring in Fahad with 3 overs left in the game with 45 runs needed, and there is no prominent batsman on the field. And Naveen is giving his instructions where to bowl given the windy conditions. Fahad can be really a tricky bowler for the lower order batsmen because his natural ability to bring the ball in can really create an opportunity for aces to wrap up the game a bit earlier. But the question is, can he do it? This is the first time I have seen Fahad bowling somewhere in 18th over. He always used to open or come as a first change in Hunters, in Dark Knights, and then in Aces. But this is something which is new. Ish would like to give an opportunity, I believe. And we see Sharif going there. You can see him, he's a good player. Today we missed Garo on the field as well. Garo is really a good bowler who used to play for Hunters and Dark Knights in the past. And now Fahad and Gaurav both play in AustinAces in every league. So fortunately, Gaurav is also on vacation, just like Shashank. That's a decent start from Fahad. There is so much talking on the field in the last 3 overs. Yash is, Yash is telling the people or the players to remember their field. Looks like people are forgetting their fielding positions, which is quite common when you're not focused enough. And Yash is getting pissed off that being an adult, you are not able to remember your fielding position for a left and righty combination. And this is the ball that Fahad cannot bowl to Manish. It's a freebie at this point in time. 5 runs with no effort from Ironman. So 109 for 8 with 39 runs needed from 17 balls, which is still doable. So Aces need to really think, Yash needs to really think who are their next two options after this over. If Fahad leaks too many runs in this over, he's still bowling down the leg. He's still not able to get his line and length with the kind of field that Yash has set up. Fahad can bowl those balls really well for a righty, but I see him struggling to bowl to a lefty. I've seen this even in the nets this week. There's too much talking and too much adjustments going on the field selection. So these like they should have finished the game 15 minutes back at the best case scenario, but they're still lagging 16 balls at this star. A Lofted shot from a batsman for a single. That's a beautiful throw from Sagar. Yash has done the right job asking Arun to move from long on to third man position where no person can talk with him. He's just clapping himself. That's the kind of encouragement Arun needs to keep him motivated and focus on the game. That's a slower and a slog shot from Manish with a drop catch from Anjan, which is really sad, but because you never get a juicy catch better than that. And I believe Anjan was right in the position. We are not sure what went wrong to drop that catch. So Austin is not looking out for 10 wickets. They are looking out for 12 wickets with two given chances in the game so far. So the run rate keeps piling up. So far, 10 runs from Fahad's over with one ball left. Which is not the kind of runs to expect at this point of the game from Yash, I believe. But he will be okay with 2 overs 35 with 16 runs per over and with the kind of bowling options that Yash have. Another wide, will Arun be able to stop it? No, that's misfield by Arun for another 5 wides. This is becoming expensive. Is this the right decision for Yash to bring Fahad at this point in time? So 15 runs so far with one ball to go. Naveen is not happy with it. Yash cannot say much from the boundary line. Manish wants to take a strike. Oh, and he gets it easily. It's a misfield from Fahad. So 16 runs of that over. They need 2 overs, 29 runs with 14 runs per over. Yash needs to bring himself to bowl to restrict that runs, or you can bring in Malik, who is bowling beautifully well for the tailenders. If we can contain anything less than 10 runs in this over, it would be really difficult to score 20 runs of the last over. I'm still wondering why Prashant was not fully utilized by Ish. He should have brought Prashant in instead of Fahad in the last over. Prashant gave only 7 runs of his 2 overs. So today Sagar is a little bit expensive. So he gave 2 overs, 23 runs. He did bowl in power play. So during the break, I was chatting with Sagar and he said he needs to practice more with a new ball and stop bowling in power play until he gets that confidence back. Beautiful shot from Manish, but the wind is not taking that ball anywhere. It's just a single for long off. We see the Dark Knights team coming in here. Niket, he's an MLC player, and and we see the captain and the vice captain carrying the water bottle. Finally, finally they are here. We still don't see Bhavesh on the ground. We will be expecting him as the 11th player for today. Hardi, 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 अरुण से बात किया तू? Manish is trying all his shots that he has and the experience that he have in tape ball. That's a good shot, only for single. Wind is favoring aces at this point in time. They just need 26 runs in 9 balls with almost 17 runs. That's a beautiful flighted delivery from Malik. I would say a leg spinner's favorite ball. That's a good shot down the wicket by Manoj for a single. He's able to read Malik's flighted deliveries well. I don't see any inconvenience in playing him. We see Prashant giving inputs to Malik, and he wants more inputs from Naveen as well. The interesting thing that which I would like to know is how Malik is able to understand what everyone is saying, because he recently moved from Afghanistan. He's a hard worker youngster, so he's learning and he's doing working and everything. In recent time, we see Purvil from Dark Knights. Naveen instructed to bowl much of a faster ball. With the wind and the ground conditions, the ball is not going anywhere. It's easy pickup for Yash. That's good. Yash is able to read me well. So he's bringing Prashant in for the last over, which he would have done instead of Fahad. So they need 23 runs in the last over. Last over from Prashant. He needs to defend whatever runs I told a couple of seconds back, 23 runs. Manish needs to keep maximum strike. I have seen Manish playing really good shots in the past with shorter boundaries on the leg side. He needs to take a chance by keeping himself strike against Prashant. That's a good shot for 2 runs. That's run out. That's good job by Yash and Malik. So Austin Aces needs one wicket to wrap up this game. And Shashank from Honolulu is messaging why we are talking about other teams. I don't need to answer you, buddy. You just enjoy your vacation. Once you are back, we'll discuss about that. And he's also instructing not to focus much on Arun. That's a beautiful shot out of the ground for a six. And this is what I was referring to when it comes to Manish. He can really change the game, but all Prashant needs to bowl is a good length ball, not under the bat. So it's still doable from a maths perspective. There are 460 needed from four balls. Prashant needs to bowl two good balls to take this game for aces. That's a good dot ball. Manish missed a juicy pull shot, I would say. Yes, under pressure because there is no discipline today in the game from aces on the field, which he was not happy about on the fielding positions. Just imagine the same frustration Shashank would go through. That's a good shot over the top of point and good fielding by Drew to cut that for 2 runs. It's 14 runs needed from two balls. It's an Austin Aces game. They were a little bit shaky in the initial overs by experimenting with new bowlers in power play, but the spinners brought the game back in. And then Prashant did bowl well with his spell in the middle overs. With all these inside edges, it's not gonna be easy for Ironman. Unfortunately, they didn't have their full strength today, but they did had a good, decent batting lineup. But they did follow the same footsteps of Austin Aces, not understanding the wind conditions, and giving up the wickets against the wind. Hope they'll understand from this experience and not repeat the same thing in future when the wind conditions are similar. That's another beautiful slog sheet for a six. Rakesh may not catch that. It's beyond that. It's still fine. Okay, so the game is done. Austin Aces won by 5 runs. Overall effort is good, but still there are a few unhappy faces with the way things happened. So they won 3 out of their 3 games. With 3 wins, they're in the second position in the points table behind Smashers.